Turkey launches an offensive into Syria. A lawsuit could hurt both the university and the state's reputation. And the community bashes Texas in true Red River rivalry fashion. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Libbey Dean.
And I'm Kolby Terrell. A big change in the weather is on the way, and it will impact those headed to the big game in Dallas, too. Nash Rhodes joins us now with details.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Maybe you've experienced a little bit of rain heading to your car or to work this morning, but we have had rain on the radar all day pretty much today. A majority of those showers are east here in Tulsa, Miami, Muskogee, really shifting out of our state to the northeast. Another line is also set up from Ardmore up to Oklahoma City, but the good news is these should stay on the weaker side. However, later today, we are expecting some stronger storms to develop down just south of Elk City and west of Lawton. We're going to keep a close eye as the Storm Prediction Center has issued a slight risk. This is an upgrade from where it was yesterday. That is a 2 out of 5 risk for primarily large hail and even a low-end tornado threat. Now, once these storms form, they'll slowly make their way into Oklahoma City and Norman later on tonight. I'll have an update on the timing of those storms. Also, a forecast for the OU-Texas rivalry game in Dallas coming right up.
Thank you, Nash. The eyes of the world are on the border of Syria and Turkey tonight. This after President Trump pulled U.S. troops away from the area.
OU Nightly's Beth Guvera is following the story from Washington, D.C. tonight. She joins us live with reactions from Oklahoma's lawmakers.
Libbey and Kolby, there seems to be a separation among the delegates today. Senator Inhofe came out in a rare opposition against President Donald Trump, saying steps need to be taken to prevent a security vacuum in Syria. Senator Langford seems to be taking a more nuanced approach. Gaylord News spoke to him this morning. He said there's no question if ISIS is given a home place at some point, then they will have the ability to plan and organize, then they will plan and organize and carry out terrorist attacks across the region and in the U.S. CNN has reporters covering the Turkish invasion into Syria. Late today, they filed this report.
Turkey launching a military offensive into northern Syria Wednesday, with civilians fleeing border cities. President Erdogan announced the move on Twitter, saying, "Our mission is to prevent the creation of a terror corridor across our southern border." Turkey's attack comes just days after President Trump announced he was pulling back U.S. military forces in the region.
Turkey, Syria, let them take care of it. Let them take care of it.
That decision has been loudly criticized on both sides of the political aisle, including by Senator Lindsey Graham, one of the president's biggest supporters on Capitol Hill, who tweeted that this is a, quote, disaster in the making. Pray for our Kurdish allies who've been shamelessly abandoned by the Trump administration. This move ensures the reemergence of ISIS. Graham and others fear that as part of this offensive, Turkey will attack the U.S.-supported local fighters who have been key in the fight against ISIS.
Our partners, the SDF, the Syrian Democratic Forces, did pretty much all the fighting and dying in Syria. And we enabled them, we gave them air cover, we gave them intelligence. Some of our special forces people fought alongside them.
And in fact, the SDF has already announced it has suspended military operations against ISIS in order to focus on the Turkish offensive. In Washington, I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
While Kendra Horn and Tom Cole spoke out against President Trump's plan, the other delegates have not made a response. Libbey, back to you.
Now, for more on the situation in Syria, Sofia Olivas joins us in the News Center.
Turkish troops had launched those airstrikes at Kurdish fighters in northern Syria in the aftermath of the Trump administration pulling troops out of that area. The missile and artillery strikes rained down on the Kurds, who have long been associated with the U.S. military efforts to eradicate ISIS in that area. Turkish President Erdogan did say that in a tweet, the mission is to prevent the creation of an ISIS terror corridor and to bring regional peace. In response, the Kurdish have warned that a humanitarian catastrophe could unfold. And a gunman killed 2 people in a shooting near a synagogue in Germany this morning. About 70 people were inside that building observing Yom Kippur. Police have a suspect in custody who allegedly live-streamed the attack on the video game streaming service Twitch. German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas said on Twitter, "Shots being fired at a synagogue on Yom Kippur, the festival of reconciliation, hits us in the heart, and we must all act against anti-Semitism in our country." And a former NBC employee, Brooke Nevels, accuses Matt Lauer of rape. The allegations come in a new book by Ronan Farrow entitled Catch to Kill. In it, Neville recalls the encounter in Sochi, Russia, where the two were covering the 2014 Olympics. Today Show hosts Savannah Guthrie and Hoda Kotb said this morning they were shocked and appalled. Lauer denies all allegations. And that's all I've got from the newsroom. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sophia.
In recent years, the university has fallen on hard economic times. The ongoing lawsuit with their cross-housing development partners may not take a chunk out of their wallet, but could hurt their reputation. OU Nightly's Nicole Nielsen has the update.
Guys, the lawsuit between OU and their development partners is heating up. Mostly, their lawyers are just pointing fingers and calling each other names. Since its opening over 1 year ago, Cross Neighborhood has had its share of struggles, from delayed openings of promised amenities, leading to a student petition, surprising student worker layoffs, low occupancy rates, and most recently, the closure of many restaurants and shops. The very same shops that made Cross the luxury living option OU promised. Early September, an attorney representing one of OU's development partners, David Dubrow, leaked a letter he sent to the university in which he claimed that OU's failure to renew the commercial leases violated their moral obligation to investors. The university's lawyer, Molly Stevens, wrote back to Dubrow, which claimed that he made patently false, misleading, and disparaging statements in an effort to damage the reputation of the university. Neither the state nor the university is legally liable, but their credit and reputations could take a huge hit, especially because Oklahoma already has nearly $2 billion in what Dubrow referred to as moral obligation debt. Structured slightly differently than the state's debt, but both loans rest on the idea that all parties involved will meet the financial obligation regardless of formalities. Currently, this pending lawsuit are speculatory. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Nicole. Many are wondering who will run for the seat in the 5th Congressional District.
One potential candidate officially takes his name out of the race when we come back.
Plus, Sooners are getting an early start to Texas Hate Week next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. A 2020 candidate is now calling for President Trump's impeachment. Kelsey Hovanetz has more.
That's right, Libbey. Former Vice President Joe Biden has called for Trump's impeachment, saying Trump is shooting holes in the Constitution.
Preserve our Constitution, our democracy, our basic integrity. He should be impeached.
He continued to say that he'd already indicted himself by obstructing justice. The president responded to Biden on Twitter saying, "I did nothing wrong." And former Oklahoma City Mayor Mick Cornett called several Republicans this week to let them know that he'll not be running for Congress, according to multiple GOP sources. Cornett had been mentioned as a potential candidate in the 5th Congressional District, in the seat currently held by Representative Kendra Horn. He was defeated in the race for governor last year by current Governor Kevin Stitt. Since then, Cornett has been named to the board of the IBC Bank in Oklahoma and to a position at the Jones Public Relations firm in Oklahoma City. And Oklahoma Representative Mickey Dolenz intends to file a legislation requiring schools to print the number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and Crisis Text Line on the back of the student ID cards for 7th to 12th grades. In a Facebook post on Monday, he wrote, "Young people with mental health challenges are more likely to get the help they need when they're aware of support and treatments that are available to them. The hotline is free, confidential, and available 24/7.
Thank you, Kelsey. Sooner fans have several traditions for Texas Hate Week, and the annual Beat Texas Car Smash is already underway.
Plus, a lot of people are headed to the game this weekend. Nash Rhodes is going to join us with what kind of weather we should be expecting.
Yeah, that's right, guys. We do have some storms on the way. Even tonight, I'll have a forecast on when they could arrive coming right up. Welcome back to OU Nightly. Here's a live look at downtown Oklahoma City. Right now, the temperature in the upper 70s. We should top off at about 80 degrees for a high. Dew points up to 66 degrees, making it very moist outside. May feel a little bit warmer than it is right now. Now, we had some clouds out there. They're mostly gone now, but earlier this morning, we had some heavy rain showers move through the area. They are to our northeast out near Tulsa, Miami. Also down near Norman, we have some heavy showers that are just kind of popping up and raining themselves out. Nothing to worry about in terms of severity. Maybe a few lightning strikes out near Miami and Bartlesville, but for the most part, we are expecting these showers to stay on the weaker side and kind of fizzle out over the next few hours or so. But our attention, as I said, over the next hour is going to be in the southwestern quadrant of our state, as we are expecting some strong storms to develop down near Lawton, Ardmore, even in parts of Elk City right around 6:30 to 7 tonight, and they are slowly going to work their way into the metro between 9 and 10 p.m. And as they do, they're going to gain intensity, eventually weaken up near Tulsa before they completely exit our state into Missouri and parts of Arkansas. Now, this is Thursday morning. Notice we have a cold front arrive on our doorstep then, and this is going to have huge effects on our temperature Thursday afternoon into the evening hours. As this slowly makes its way across our state on Thursday, watch these temperatures start to drop. They're going to get all the way down into the 50s and 40s in some places. Guyman at 39 degrees, and this is just 7 o'clock on Thursday. So definitely something to keep an eye out if you're looking to be out that late. You might want to bring a jacket because it's not going to feel like it was in the afternoon in the 70s. So here's what it's looking like on Friday morning. We're going to be in the 30s here in Norman, 35, 33 in Oklahoma City. Once again, Woodward at 30, Guyman in the 20s. This is just going to have huge impacts, not only in our temperature, but in the severe weather threat. We have a slight risk by the Storm Prediction Center for tomorrow. This is a 2 out of 5 risk, mainly for the straight line wind threat along the leading edge of this cold front. But again, once this front moves through, we are not expecting anything in terms of severe weather for the next several days. So some good news if you're heading on down to Dallas, because once this severe weather clears out, we're going to have clear skies and be in the upper 50s, a huge switch up from where we were last year in the 90s throughout the Cotton Bowl, guys. So some great news. So once again, looking at this 7-day forecast, we're going to drop into the 70s after that cold front comes through. But notice, to start the work week, we are going to be in the mid 70s. And guys, it's really just starting to feel like fall and like it should be this time of year.
I'm really looking forward to the colder weather at the game because last year I sweat so much.
Yeah, it was terrible. Halftime I had to go get water, soda. It was awful.
Okay, me too. Well, thank you, Nash.
OU Texas is one day closer, and Sooner fans didn't hold anything back last night at the Wesley.
Tuesday, beating up on a car, what could be more fun than that?
It's arguably the biggest week on campus at the University of Oklahoma all year long. The build-up to OU Texas on Saturday had Sooner fans gathering outside the Wesley for the annual Beat Texas Car Smash.
It was a lot of fun because it's just you get to beat up Texas, and everyone knows Texas sucks, so it makes it a lot more fun.
I'm thinking about Sam Ellinger.
You got any message for him?
You're going down. We're coming back from last year.
And if the Sooner football team can tear apart Texas like they did this car, Sooner Nation is in for a great Saturday at the Texas State Fair.
It's great because it reminds me how when we play them, they're going to be destroyed. It's so great.
It's Tuesday night of Beat Texas Week. Sooner fans got a head start on the football team on taking down Texas. They took a couple sledgehammers to this car and beat it to a pulp. The windshield gone, all the windows gone, the doors attempted to be ripped off, not quite. The front bumper gone, the back bumper gone, the trunk is gone, the whole thing is obliterated. It just kind of shows how much Sooner fans are ready to beat Texas on Saturday. Zach Verdea, OU Nightly.
Now the fans will have to wait until Saturday at 11 for another chance at a Texas beatdown.
NBA preseason is underway, and the Thunder and Mavericks faced off last night.
Kemper Ball joins us for sports with a big week ahead for the OU football team.
That's right, the new look Thunder took the court for the first time last night in Tulsa, and it's the best week of the year, OU Texas Week. We'll hear from the team about what makes this matchup different after the break. Don't go anywhere, sports is next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. It's time for sports. I'm Kemper Ball. OU Texas Week is finally here, and the only people more excited than I am are the guys who are actually playing in the game.
I mean, if you look on that schedule over there, it's only goal one, so it's a huge game, huge rivalry game. And my favorite, because of the atmosphere, of course, is unmatched on our schedule.
That place is going crazy. Just really, just looking around, just was like, wow, like this is really amazing. Like you really just see exactly why, OU Texas is just such an amazing rivalry.
Actually, I really didn't know much. I actually used to play the game NCAA and to see the little Red River. I was like, what is a Red River rivalry? It always popped up when OU Texas played each other, so I kind of knew something about it, but I didn't know historic facts about it. But just to come to find out these historical things and brings my attention to why I'm glad I even came to OU and playing these big moment games like this.
The OU soccer team will host the Kansas Jayhawks this Thursday. The Sooners come into this game looking for their second conference win of the season following their win over Kansas State. The game is scheduled for 7 p.m. and can be watched on Fox Sports Oklahoma. Last night marked a new chapter for the Thunder as they played their first game in franchise history without Russell Westbrook on the roster. OKC kicked off the game with a corner three from Steven Adams. That's right, Steven Adams. And newcomer Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wasted no time pouring in 24 points. The Thunder took the win 119-104 and will host the New Zealand Breakers tomorrow in Oklahoma City at 7 p.m. MLB playoffs continued last night as the Astros took on the Tampa Bay Rays for Game 4 of the divisional round. Astros ace Justin Verlander came into the game on just 3 days rest, and the Rays jumped on him early. The Rays racked up 7 hits and 4 runs against Verlander before he was pulled after just 3.5 innings. The 4 runs proved to be all the Rays needed as Tampa Bay comes up with a huge win and forces a win or go home Game 5. That game will be played tomorrow night in Houston. And as we all know, Wednesdays are for the Whiners, and this week, the Whiners a Niner. Sherman has always been more well known for his mouth than his play. And this week was no different. Sherman picked off Baker Mayfield early in their Monday night matchup, setting the tone for the 31-3 beatdown against the Browns. Following the game, Sherman claimed Mayfield refused to shake his hand during the pregame coin toss. That would certainly be a bad look for Baker, except it wasn't true at all. Sherman has said he plans to apologize to Baker, but why say anything in the first place? Sherman must have seen this as an opportunity to make things about him rather than his team, just like he's always done. Sherman's always been a whiner. He was a whiner back in Seattle. I've got a glass of wine for him. As soon as he comes to Oklahoma, I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't need to make up lies to trash talk.
So weird. After a game like that, after a big win like that, why take any attention off your team?
You have plenty of ammunition already. Use that.
Well, thank you, Kemper. A 20-year tradition lives on here at OU. Find out next.
I'm Scott Haas at the OU Nightly Update Desk. An Oklahoma attorney has been suspended by the state Supreme Court after pleading no contest to harboring a fugitive. Shelley Livesay of Shawnee was suspended for 2 years from practicing law after being arrested early last year for hiding her then boyfriend, who was wanted on felony charges including domestic abuse assault. On top of the suspension, the judge gave her a suspended sentence, a $5,000 fine, and 100 hours of community service. Kolby?
Thanks, Scott. The Red River Showdown is right around the corner. This morning, the university's Naval ROTC midshipmen were up before the sun to begin their 200-mile, yes, 200-mile run to the Cotton Bowl Stadium, where they'll deliver the game ball that Coach Riley handed off this morning.
Talk about a fun 20-year tradition. Nash, do you have anything more about the game this weekend?
Yeah, you know, I know a lot of you and even the people at home are planning on making that trip down to Dallas, and really just some great news because I'm looking forward to it too. I'm heading down there as well. We are going to be in the 50s at kickoff. Guys, it has been a while since the weather has been this nice for the OU Texas game. And then here in Norman, we're looking at storms. I mean, the complete opposite of what we're expecting there. But good news is, once that moves out of the way this weekend, we're going to have clear skies, heat back up into the 70s to start out the work week.
I am so excited for this weekend.
Exactly.
Like, I cannot wait.
I can't wait for the food at the fair.
I can't wait to not sweat at the game. First time. Can't wait. It's going to be a thrill.
Last year, I think I was like sweating buckets. It was so gross.
Just enjoy the game.
Yeah,
if you haven't tried a Fletcher's corn dog, you have to try those. They're the best in the State Fair of Texas, I promise.
That's good to know.
I'll give it a shot.
I might take you up on that.
Well, thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by Gaylord College at the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30.
Have a great evening.
Good night.